Let's be frank here. Speeches by Defence Ministers at the National Press Club don't normally attract that much of a crowd. It's one of those specialist areas of reporting. So it's hard to remember a more anticipated appearance by a Defence Minister than the one that was supposed to occur today. But as Linda Reynolds has become increasingly engulfed in the storm surrounding allegations one of her staff had been assaulted on a couch in her office in 2019, no one could quite understand why she would subject herself to the scrutiny of a televised grilling by journalists after the speech.
If I could ask Mr President if I could have indulgence to answer this on Monday.
The pressure on Reynolds has been clear to see, and this morning it was announced she was taking medical leave and had been admitted to hospital as a precautionary measure. Everyone wished her well, including Brittany Higgins, the young woman who had allegedly been assaulted. Higgins was due to be interviewed by the police this afternoon, just after Reynolds was due to finish her speech, reactivating the investigation into the incident. There are still so many questions to be answered about this terrible episode in the history of Australia's Parliament. Questions about why Minister Reynolds did not maintain a continuing dialogue with Brittany Higgins to ensure her welfare. Why she only ever spoke to her once about the incident, and why, according to Higgins, the young media advisor was left with the clear impression she had just become an unwanted political problem. So often, the trauma of what happens after an horrific episode of assault, abuse or harassment can be as devastating as the original episode itself. Another woman in politics who understands this is Emma Husar, the Labor MP who in her own words was slut-shamed in 2018 with contested sordid allegations of her behaviour.
In terms of their duty of care, there was none and no support was offered. They all sat there, they all knew that it was wrong. They didn't want me speaking out and they did everything that they could to shut me up.
When you say they, who actually conveyed that to you?
Mostly they were the media unit attached to the leader of the opposition's office in a way of politically protecting the leader.
A salacious article published by BuzzFeed claimed she had bragged about her sexual relations, sexually harassed an employee and exposed herself to a colleague. Husar sued for defamation. The matter was later settled out of court.
Within 36 hours of this gross misrepresentation and the slut-shaming smears going viral, I was asked to resign as the member for Lindsay.
After that speech had been given, not a single person in the Labor Party I recall coming up and shaking my hand or embracing me. And in fact, it's Kelly O'Dwyer, who was on the other side, who walked across the chamber, which was quite a big deal.
Today, she wrote an open letter to opposition leader Anthony Albanese, turning attention to Labor's problems with women.
The Labor Party have ridden their sanctimonious high horses like it's not happening on the Labor side, but were absolutely complicit with their silence in 2018.
We asked Anthony Albanese for a response and Labor's spokeswoman on women, Tanya Plibersek, for an interview for tonight's program. Neither were forthcoming. The experiences of both Brittany Higgins and Emma Husar point to the shortfalls in the formal employment relationships in federal politics, which we outlined here last night, including laws which leave political staff at the mercy of their masters. They can be immediately sacked without a reason being given. Complaints made to the Department of Finance about a minister or MP are investigated by the department, but its findings are then sent back to the MP to deal with. A bit of a problem if the MP is the problem. ACTU President Michelle O'Neill says political staff should be protected by their employers, just like any other workers in the country.
It seems that the rules here are interpreted as if they don't apply, when in the reality they do. You can't ignore the obligation about making sure that workplaces are safe, and that extends to what you know are the risky things. And we already know this is a high-risk workplace. The reality of power, which is what harassment and assault is often about, is turbocharged here. So the Minister did have a responsibility at law to make this a safe workplace.
Independent MP Zali Steggall says there are also big gaps in sex discrimination legislation.
The current Sex Discrimination Act leaves a gap in relation to statutory appointed judges or members of Parliament, whether they are adequately protected and liable for sexual harassment. So that needs to change. I have prepared a private member's bill that I will be tabling in Parliament on the 15th of March.
Meanwhile, for Emma Husar, the fallout continues.
So coming forward and speaking out about this, it's not easy. It's something that, you know that there will be ramifications for, and one of them is, future employment prospects. You Google my name and there are over 2,000 related articles about that time in 2018. That's the other way that women are forced to stay silent.
Let's be clear, we are lawmakers, and the Prime Minister calls this the Canberra bubble, but it cannot be a lawless bubble. We must be, as lawmakers, applying best practice. This must be a workplace of choice.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.